Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Entrepreneur Middle East. We are at episode 6, and I'm super excited to bring to you Riz Ahmed. He is the CEO of SmartCrowd. Such a pleasure having you here with us today, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Minna.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for asking. Usually I don't get the question back in return, so thank you for asking.
Mm,
I'm doing well. I'm very
great.
excited to be
Amazing.
speaking to all of you and to launch this new show because honestly, like there's so many things that I've been learning,
Yeah,
in the past couple of episodes. So yeah,
I
grateful to
appreciate
have
your
you.
time.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do we start? Your
Sure.
roots, where you're from,
Yeah.
your family.
So, Pakistani heritage,
Okay.
born and brought up in the UK,
Mhm.
moved to Dubai 10 years ago. I was a CFO of GEMS Education for 6 years before taking a bit of time out, going back to university, doing my MBA,
Mhm.
and then took over as CEO of SmartCrowd just under 2 years ago.
Would you say
So,
the MBA helped?
yeah, in
A
parts,
lot of my
yeah.
friends want to do it. That's why I'm
Yeah, it was really
asking.
great to go and just meet other
It's the
people and
networking, right?
the networking
Mhm.
and explore connections. And we had a really diversified portfolio
Mhm.
of companies and entrepreneurs and even doctors and lawyers in
No
our
way.
cohort. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was amazing. So I really
Everybody
liked,
wants to take a year off and just
yeah, that's what I kind of did. Took a year
bird's eye
off and just
perspective.
exactly, and
Yeah.
then just jump back into it with Smart Crowd.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. But did you always feel like, when you were a teenager or when you entered your university years that you wanted to get into like business and consulting and
I genuinely had no idea what I wanted to get into. Even when I finished university,
you could
I
be a
did.
lawyer, I mean.
Yeah, I did dress like it. Yeah, it's
How
not my
long is your signature?
this is not my usual dress. I'm in the startup mode,
Oh,
so yeah.
really?
Actually, it was
I
really
cannot
funny.
imagine you in a
It was
casual.
really funny because when I joined Smart Crowd, and I was used to wearing suits all the time, coming from a corporate world,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
I met the team, and there's about 10 of us at the time, and all of these guys were dressed in like jeans and t-shirts, and I was like, what? It's supposed to be like suits and professionals. I just kept turning up in a suit every day.
They probably thought you were super snobbish.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was like getting really confused. It's like, why are they not changing their appearance and their attire to match me? And then by the end of the month, I was wearing like ripped jeans and t-shirts and stuff. So yeah, this is the uniform I'm putting on for the
Right,
interview. But
right.
no, it's normally jeans, trainers, and a t-shirt.
No, but you look great.
Thank you, so
It's
appreciate
an
it.
amazing suit. But
Yeah,
honestly, I feel like if you wear something more casual, there is a certain click that happens where your mentality and your mindset just become
yeah,
more
hundred
free.
percent. Yeah,
And
hundred
in a
percent.
startup space, I guess you need to create, right? You need to
Yeah, it's
be
very different because in a corporate world, there's things that are set. It's a very top-down management style.
hierarchy
There's
system. Yeah.
hierarchies. You try to have a culture where it's collaborative,
Hmm.
but in a startup, and I learned it. I don't want to say the hard way, but it was a bit of a shock factor to me.
Of course.
But I was like, wait, it's not like the normal corporate world. And if you try to take the startup and change it into a corporate, you're going to fail. And I've seen that actually when sometimes corporates
Really.
acquire startups, they
Hmm.
kill the startup. There's
Hmm.
loads of literature on that one topic. It's like you have to evolve as the startup. So as we now are moving from a startup to a scale up, and we thought, what's the best way of doing that, right? We want to be the largest in the market, but we also want to build a whole ecosystem around proptech. So we've partnered now with Africa's largest proptech, who have just acquired a majority stake in SmartCrowd. And the next 12 months are going to look very, very different to the previous 12
Amazing.
months. Yeah.
Amazing. And I know we spoke about the soft camera, but a lot of the times when smaller companies do get acquired, they
Yeah.
kind of lose that DNA in a
Yeah.
way, and there's a lot of challenges that the founders have to go through with the investors, etc. Um, how would you position yourself now, having been acquired?
Yeah.
Are you happy with the result? Or
Yeah.
was it something you would repeat again in the future, or is it something you regretted?
Yeah. So we actually launched a process to actually find a partner.
Okay, so you wanted
So
it.
we wanted it.
Okay.
So we were looking for someone that was going to invest in us and help us grow. So we had a lot of corporates, we had developers, a lot of people in household names in the real estate sector in Dubai looking at acquiring us. The reason we went with Nawi is because of their culture.
Hmm.
So I visited them in Cairo, where the headquarters are. I got to know them really, really well, and they have this similar mentality and similar culture. They were a startup. They're a huge scale up now. They just received a huge amount of investment in their Series A. So I felt like they understood we spoke the same language. They would
Hmm.
also give me the autonomy to grow here in the region.
Amazing.
So yeah, it was like a match made in heaven, to be honest. And we're 3 months into it, and it's definitely right. As a CEO, sometimes it can be quite lonely because the
Oh,
accountability
of
is on your
course.
head. You've got to make the decisions. But now in the scenario we're in now, I can go speak to the Nawi CEO, a CEO to CEO, one of the co-founders,
Hmm.
and we can have a completely different conversation. And I
Hmm.
can get an objective view as well from then about the decisions I'm
Hmm.
making, even from something like hiring to setting up new businesses. So it's been great.
And how involved were you in actually like forming the startup in the company?
So I actually was a customer of the company.
No
So
way.
yeah, so when I was the CFO of GEMS Education, I was looking at how do I buy a property and invest in a property and get on the property ladder in
Okay.
Dubai. from an investment perspective, because I own my own house, but I was like, I want to make money from the real estate segment in Dubai. But it's a lot of hassle, right? It's like, do I get a mortgage? Do I go off plan? How do I know I'm buying the right thing? People have made a lot of money in real estate in Dubai, and people have lost a lot of money. So with SmartCrowd, I met the founders. I loved it. And I was like, this is a really great way of diversifying my portfolio as well. So instead of buying one property, I invested the same amount of money in 10 different properties.
Exactly.
And some have been absolute superstars and others have done relatively well. And then you average out. So my portfolio of 10 properties has done extremely well because I diversified across 10 different properties. So yeah, I started as a customer. Then they were raising some capital, a small amount of capital, and I became an angel investor. And then I went from angel investor to board director to chairman of the board to one day taking over as CEO. And we are where we are.
I swear to God, I got so lucky with you.
No, I appreciate it.
Because being a customer of a company, you're literally on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's what they need. That's what you need to make a company successful. You need to get into the brain of the client.
Yeah, 100%.
And you were that person.
Yeah.
And imagine that same person leading the company then. So I think they couldn't have gotten a better deal, right?
No, I appreciate that. No, definitely. It's been
and also
the
you're
case.
happy because you were so like inspired by this whole system, right?
Yeah. I mean, I literally eat
Dream
at
job.
my own restaurant. It's like, this is
Literally,
a great idea. And I love it. And it's allowed me to do as CEO, go, when I was a customer, what were my pain points? So some of the things were around technology and the user experience, user interface. Okay, we're going to change that. Others were around the product. So we introduced this flip product where we buy, we renovate and sell in a very short amount of time versus our normal product, which was buy, rent the property out, sell it in 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
So we introduced that a couple of years ago. It's been a smash hit success. But that really came from me going, what would I have wanted when I was a customer? And now I'm in the position to actually influence those decisions. We built a closer relationship with our investors where when we finish a property, we actually bring them in and we walk them through the things that we've done. So we have an open house when we finish a property, when we finish a flip.
Like a party in the property.
Yeah, literally we do that. And we have the entrees and the drinks and everything, and we walk them through our design experience. So going, this is what we did here. This is the type of materials we used. This is why we picked this type of fridge even. We imported this fridge because it's the best fridge in this class and this is how much it costs. So they can really get involved in the experience. So that's, again, us building a closer relationship with our investors. And that's, I think, why we stand out in this market.
And that's how you gain that trust, because at the end of the day, we're still investing money in an app.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So the fact that your clients can go and physically like touch and see and feel you and see you, you're a real person, you're not just like a messenger behind an app.
And that's why when I took over as CEO, put my face and my reputation on the line. Because I'm telling investors, you're not investing only in this app, but you're investing in someone who's a finance professional, who was also a customer, and who's also involved in the whole process from every property that we're designing, with the design of it, the implementation, the procurement of items, all the way to the end. I, as CEO, I'm fully involved in that entire chain. So I would say majority of investors know me personally. A lot of them have my WhatsApp detail. They're messaging me.
Nice.
And that allows me to also get live feedback. What they like, what they don't like. So even when we're about to launch a new flip, I probably check with about 20 investors going, would you be interested in this? And I take their feedback, and then I'll go and make a decision on the actual property.
If yes, why? If no, why?
100%.
Yeah, amazing. But would you say, since, I feel like you did kick off your career and journey in corporate, right? And at quite a young age, I would say, you flipped it and you went into this whole startup world. There's a lot of differences between being in a startup and being in a corporate world. Which one do you prefer?
Do you know what?
Would you ever go back to corporate in the future, or do you really love your path that you're taking now?
Yeah, it's really interesting because just at the time when I was joining SmartCrowd and I was finishing my MBA, an offer came in from a previous investor in GEMS Education that said, hey, we've acquired this huge corporate and we'd love you to come in and take a C-suite position. And I mean, definitely, let's be completely honest, pay in corporates is a lot better than a startup, right? But I actually turned it down and I decided to start a SmartCrowd because it was something new. And now I've been in it for a few years. I would definitely say I couldn't leave the startup kind of environment, because you're taking something similar to a property. You're taking something and you're improving it, and you're improving it incrementally, and you have a huge amount of ownership of that. In large corporates, there'll always be the politics, the how things have been done for the last 20, 30 years. In a startup, it's not like that. It's like, even if we did this different last year, we're going to change that. And why are we going to change that? So it's rapidly moving. So I think, for the long term, SmartCrowd's for me.
For sure. And I feel like the main personality trait that people should have working in a startup is being agile, being adaptable to new environments. I mean,
100%.
everything is changing on a daily basis,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
What would you say are the top main traits?
Main traits of?
Yeah, of personality traits that you need to have to be in a startup, apart from like being agile to
Yeah.
changes.
I
Like I'm
think,
sure risk taking is part of it as well, right?
So I would actually consider myself risk averse, right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So when I'm looking at properties,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time I will say no to a property
Mm-hmm.
because I'm assessing it and I'm not necessarily opportunistic. I will be more risk averse, especially because investors are coming behind my decision, right?
You feel
Uh,
responsible for them in
yeah,
a way?
100%, 100%. And that again, it just shows, and we've done 56 exits to date, and our returns are 50% better than our competitors. Right, 50% better than our
That's
competitors.
incredible.
And that's something that we're going to start marketing going forward, right? Because again, we've been bootstrapped until we got the
Just that
investment.
statistic.
Just that statistic, and it's very clear on. It's facts. Facts don't care about your feelings, right?
Of
It's
course.
factual maths. It's maths at the
Right.
end of the day. But I think in a trait for an entrepreneur or founder is resilience, because you will go through ups and downs, especially in a startup world. You know, we have, for example, regulators.
Lonely
we have,
journey.
Yeah, we have competitors. We have investors. We have new entrants coming in the market. Dubai is a really competitive market in real estate. We have new entrants coming, new competitors coming all the time. How do we fend those off? How do we keep the relationship with our investors? Property prices have been going up. How do we maintain the same kind of returns for our investors? And then we're also dealing with compliance and regulation.
Right.
So for me, resilience is the key kind of trait that you would need. And again, SmartCrowd is not as a new company. We've been around for 7 years now. So since 2018. And through that period, if you remember that time, 2018, 2019, you were here, right? Dubai's property market wasn't doing that well. Then COVID hit. So SmartCrowd went through that cycle of a bit of a downturn.
Depends. If you're a client, I mean, it was
COVID.
great for us to buy our houses
Yeah,
for very
exactly,
cheap
yeah.
prices. You know,
But
we were happy.
a lot of people didn't know what to do at COVID, right? COVID happened and they didn't
was
know,
a
like,
slap
should
in
I
the face.
buy? It's going to be long term. So SmartCrowd is the only crowdfunding platform that existed through that cycle. So we've had that, and the team has built that resilience inside of them. So even when there's the ups, it's great. When there's the downs, what I love, and it's a team I inherited, but that team has been built on resilience. And that's a trait that I had when I came in, but I've learned from my team.
Your home past Hurricane Katrina, and it survived. The roof didn't fly off.
Literally.
Right. But since you did speak that, you know, you guys are doing better than your competitors, what did you say, by
50% on our exits,
50%?
yeah.
But it's just, I feel like real estate is just such a buzzword, and it's like one of the main, if not the main industry and the main sector that we have here in the region, in the UAE. There's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
How are you guys navigating all of that?
Yeah, no, great question. And again, I think it's, again, from when I was a customer looking at investing, why did I pick SmartCrowd? Is there's a lot of difference. You know, people go, oh, is Dubai's market going up or down? Dubai's huge now. You've got developments all over the place. You can make a lot of money in certain places and you can lose a lot of money in certain places. So the best thing is to trust people that have been doing this for a long time. So we've done over 150 properties to date.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we know, and over a long period of time. There's sometimes when we don't decide to put properties on our platform and we have a low level of supply on our platform, because unless we're 100% sure on a property, we won't put it on the platform. They can keep an upside. They can also achieve their objectives, which is getting some liquidity.
Okay. And what sort of properties do you like?
So we got all the
What
way
catches
from
your eye?
Yeah. So we got all the way from studio apartments in Silicon Oasis, all the way to mansions in Al Barari.
Okay.
What we really, really like is where we can add some value. So we take something, let's say it's a studio, and we say, how can we make money for our investors by taking that studio and reconfiguring it and turning it into a 1-bedroom? We've got one in Dubai Hills at the moment. It's a 4-bed. We're turning it into a 5-bed, doing extensions, garden features, etc.
Making it more profitable, basically.
Exactly. So that value add, then sell the property, and we go on one metric. We don't look at any other metric at SmartCrowd in detail as investor satisfaction. The key thing in that, the sub metric, is investor returns. So as long as we're giving investors the highest returns, that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? And we track that on a daily basis, from our exits to the rental income. How do we maximize rental income? How do we maximize the value of the property? What effort do we need to put in? And that's why, again, we've been bootstrapped to date, but we've had huge success because it's word of mouth. People know us. If you type, we did this in 10 different countries. We told people, type in what's the best real estate crowdfunding platform in Dubai, and SmartCrowd always comes out number 1.
No way.
Yeah, so if you go on ChatGPT and you type that in, it'll be SmartCrowd.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. I wanted to ask you about government regulations. Obviously, since it's the biggest most famous industry,
Mm.
there's a lot of regulations that come with it.
Yep.
How do you guys, function with all these regulations? Do you think they're helpful?
Yep.
A lot of them do attract even investors to come in here,
Yeah.
right? And thanks to them, like we're all developing and growing an
Yeah.
industry. But like, what's your take in general on regulations here in the
Yeah,
UAE?
no, a really great question because, again, SmartCrowd was the first regulated real estate crowdfunding platform in the whole of the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, that level of regulation gives investors confidence that you're doing the right thing and there's someone overseeing everything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So without regulation, we wouldn't exist. So, and also the regulators here, there's, the rulers of Dubai and the UAE, they're very innovative minded, right? And they push the regulator to help innovation. So in SmartCrowd, the idea of SmartCrowd was a thought in someone's head, and they went to the regulators and said, "Hey, can we make this happen?" The regulator was positive in saying, "Yes, let's make this happen." If I use the example of the UK, the regulators there are very, very defensive. They don't like change. They're overbearing.
Europe in general is in a
Yeah,
comfort zone.
exactly.
I think that.
Dubai in the UAE is very forward-looking.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting with someone yesterday, and we were talking about the land departments in the UK and here and taxes, etc. And I was telling him how I went.
Taxes, what?
Exactly, what's the tax? How I walked into the Dubai Land Department and had a conversation with someone very senior about something to do with the real estate.
They're like, what? How?
And they're like, "You walked in there? And like, how did you do that?" And I said, I emailed
You
him.
didn't get arrested?
Yeah, no, I was like, I emailed him and he replied, and then I set up a meeting and I went there. And they turned to each other and said, imagine us doing that in the UK. You wouldn't even make it past the front door. So Dubai is very open, very innovative.
Very safe.
Yeah, so they will do the work. The regulations are very tough. And that's why there's not many crowdfunding platforms in the UAE, because to get past and get the regulations and get the license is a tough job. But they will always work with you.
100%.
They're not trying to work against you. Like,
100%.
again, in the UK, I feel like sometimes they're trying to work against you.
And you know what it is? I think it's just governments that are unfortunately placed to have certain agendas
Yep.
in the West, and they don't care about the people and what the consequences of those agendas will be on the people.
100%.
They just have their own visions,
100%.
Whereas here, the agendas are created based on what the people need.
Yeah.
And in order for us to understand what the people need, we need to talk to them. We need
100%.
to allow you to come through that door
Yeah.
and sit down and
Yeah.
place that meeting. For example,
Yeah.
you and like a million others in different sectors. So they base their agendas on that, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, like we combine it with a lot of other things, but I think the priority of our entire government system here and His Royal Highness and it's innovation. How can you reach innovation? Is by listening, right?
I think you have to think about a lot of the countries that we've come from as corporates. And think about Dubai as a startup.
I
Dubai
love
as a
that.
startup going to a scale up, right?
100%.
So they have that mentality, they have that innovation, they have that thought process, like a startup would have, like a SmartCrowd would have, versus a big
Which
corporate.
have a fetish for mentorship. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You just keep learning and never be the smartest person in the room, I think.
100%. And that's the great thing about Dubai, because the talent that's coming in here is just the talent around the world. The best talent is dying to come to Dubai. So you're constantly meeting people that are at the top of their game, that are choosing to come here. If you rewind 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, Dubai was not that attractive to come for the brightest minds. Now Dubai is the place for the brightest minds around the world to come. Everybody's trying to get here.
What do you think makes it attractive? Like, what would be your top reasons?
So obviously the lack of tax is a great
Just slide it in there.
I think good people attract good people. So when they see successful people moving to Dubai, they go, what's happening over there? And the rulers of Dubai have created an environment where there's safety, there's security, it's open for business. They encourage you to set up businesses and innovate, etc. Versus back home, where it just seems like a lot of factors are working against you.
Right.
Dubai definitely has its difficulties in terms of, like, for example, cost of living is going up, but that's around the world. But
at least our salary is much higher.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, again, good people attract good people, and people are seeing good people moving to Dubai, and they're going, hey, something's happening there. Why don't we go there and try to work together and innovate?
Going back to the startup SmartCrowd. Tell me a little bit about your future visions, where you guys want to go, where you're heading.
Yeah.
What are your future plans, if you're allowed to give us that exclusive?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about it. So I think what we really want to do is build something as a proptech ecosystem. The great thing that we have is a new parent company has already done that. They are the largest proptech in Africa. They have about 7 different business lines. Just 2 months ago, they launched their super app. So you can go into one app, you can get a mortgage for a property. You can buy a fractional part of a property. You can buy a full property. You can renovate your existing property. You can do all of that in one app, in one place. So the idea is, how are we going to build that here? So in the next 24 months, you're going to see SmartCrowd going from a real estate crowdfunding platform, fractional ownership, to having tokenization of properties, to having mortgages, and not just mortgage brokering, actually giving you mortgages, renovation of your home, all of these different things, holiday homes, management, property management, all of those kind of things. So what we're trying to do is build a proptech super app. And again, I was in the proptech hub in DRC.
You guys had no steps in between. You just flew up there to.
And again, that was one of the reasons that we wanted to partner with not just VCs. So I've been in environments where VC money has come in,
but they don't have the experience.
But they don't give you the mentorship, the experience. We've partnered with someone who's already done it.
Right.
And so we have a huge amount of support. So anytime we're thinking about setting up something new, we go, these guys have already done it. Let's get that download. And they can even send expertise over here. So we're just on a huge progression now. But yeah, I think
you're excited.
I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Extremely excited.
No, it's going to be great.
Time. And we're in the best place, in the world. Like I say to people, why Dubai? To invest. You have a dollar-pegged currency, so the currency risk is zero compared to the dollar. Tax-free environment.
Let's hope the dollar stays stable.
Yeah. But a tax-free environment. It's encouraging you to make more money and keep that money yourself. Very stable environment. And real estate, if you pick the right properties, there's great rental income and there's also capital appreciation. There's nowhere in the world that those things exist in the same place.
The mix.
Yeah.
And you forgot the sunshine every day.
And the sunshine, yeah. Except for July, August is a bit too hot.
But still, like, having grown up in Moscow, I swear, like 6 months of gray skies, and it's crazy how much sunshine influences your mood and how much it makes you be just a more optimistic
100%.
person.
When I was working in London, and by the time you
London as well,
by the time you finish at 5, 6 p.m., it's dark outside and it's raining and it's cold. Here you finish, and people are like, okay, what are we doing in the evening?
Yeah.
And the evening, and the shops don't close.
Or you go to the beach over the weekend.
The shops don't close at 6, right?
Yeah.
They're open all night.
Yeah.
So it's service-led. And again, Dubai is really flourishing because the number of millionaires moving to Dubai. And why do they want to move here? With their families.
Isn't it like 17 per day or something? Like I heard a crazy statistic.
It's a crazy amount. Yeah. I mean, I hear statistics and I hear more statistics and more. And again, it's, if you've got a circle of millionaires and 1 or 2 are moving to Dubai, you're going to ask, why are you moving to Dubai? And then you're going to follow. Right? And that's what's happening.
And money attracts money.
And money attracts money. And you go, wait a minute, I can move my money here in a safe environment. So again, Dubai is just, I think, the epicenter of the world at the moment.
Of course. If you were to advise, an average person that wants to buy or rent, what would you advise them to do?
That's a really tricky question. I think there's huge opportunities to buy, if you're for investment or for your own home. But you need to be careful with what you're buying. And to rent, also, we've seen rents go up quite a lot. I think there's some areas that are cooling down a little bit. Again, for me, it's getting advice, not just going and speaking to a broker and going, yeah, I think this is a good deal. Is really doing that
Who should
deep
people
dive.
speak to?
Who should people speak to? They can speak to us.
Yeah.
I have a lot of our investors that are investing with us, and they say, hey, listen, I'm thinking about buying my own home now. Like, what do you think? And we'll give them advice, right? Because again, when they're our client, they're not just our client for one transaction. The relationship is not 2-dimensional. Our relationship with our clients is 3-dimensional. So if they have a real estate kind of need, we're willing to support that.
And are we, as clients, too optimistic to believe that potentially there's going to be that tiny little decrease in prices coming soon? Like, do you think that's going to happen, or do you think we're going to go up?
I'll tell you what the answer is people consider Dubai to be this tiny little place. And it was very small 20 years ago. And say, is Dubai moving up or down? In Dubai, the whole of the property market used to move up and down. But Dubai has expanded so much now. I can't even tell you all the developments that are happening. So definitely in the next 24 months, there's going to be places where the property prices come down and rental incomes go down. All of that stuff.
Just because of supply and demand.
Supply and demand. So you have an area where there's a huge amount of plan coming on.
Which
online.
I heard, like that entire desert area is where Dubai is going to basically develop, like towards the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole area there is going to be completely like new cities construction.
If you go up the Burj Khalifa, you'll realize how much more expansion Dubai can have. You'll look out and you'll see properties, and then you'll see sand.
For us now, like Damac Hills is far away, but like it's literally going to be the start of so much more that's going to go after that.
When I moved to Dubai, I lived in Silicon Oasis. At that time,
far.
People were like, oh my God, it's so far. It's out of the city. You might as well be in Abu Dhabi. Now, Silicon Oasis is part of Dubai. So you're going to see some areas where the property prices probably cool off. I don't think there's going to be a dramatic drop, but they're going to cool off from terms of growing, 5, 6, 7% a year. They might not grow, or they might have a slight decrease. You'll see other places that the property prices keep going up as they're going up now. And we're looking at those places. And also you're looking at the segment of customers that are coming into Dubai. So when we're looking at our flip product, for example, where we buy, we renovate and flip, we do it for ultra luxury clientele. So we're doing it because we know there's this many millionaires moving into Dubai.
It's a safe space.
There's a lack of supply in that segment.
Yeah.
So that's why we're on the Palm. We're doing a project there. We're in El Barari. We have 4 projects there. DIFC, Dubai Hills. These are all areas that are going to be attracting millionaires to move to. We're not necessarily focusing on smaller areas where we're trying to, flip smaller properties. So there's going to be a mixed bag. If you look at it as a whole,
because millionaires do look. Sorry to interrupt you at the details. So.
100%.
Talking about millionaires, since we're coming to the end of our interview, I wanted to ask you, what does success mean to you? What's the definition of success?
Yeah, so you remember I said at the beginning, like you'll make a lot more money probably in a corporate, in a C-suite role than in a startup, right? For me, success is building a team and building a legacy through that team. So in the companies I've worked for, the team I've had around me have all gone on to be very successful. And with SmartCrowd, I have a very young team. I have a team, again, average age is probably 23, 24 years old.
So Gen Zs.
Exactly, yeah. And by the way, it's super interesting interacting with Gen Zs.
Right.
And how they think about work and how they think about flexibility and work-life
balance.
balance.
I'm sorry if I traumatized you after this interview.
Yeah. I mean, when I was that age, I didn't understand anything but work. It's like you get into the office at 7
The routine, I think, is the difference.
And you have to adapt to that.
Yeah.
But it's also fun building talent and building them to be successful versions of themselves. And actually, we've got some of the team here around us now, is I'll say to them, I'm not even saying to you that you have to stay with SmartCrowd for the rest of your life. If you come to me and say you've got a better opportunity, I'll tell you to take it. But I guarantee...
Look at that psychological approach. I see what you did right there.
I genuinely mean it. But what we've actually had is we had a bunch of people that were interns here. They left, joined other companies.
And then they came back?
And then they came back after a few years of getting more experience, and they came back. So we've had...
And you're like, good for us, I mean.
Yeah, great for us and great for them, because they're bringing learnings as well.
Yeah.
So we have a very, very low turn rate in terms of employees, high retention rate, but we're building them. Most of our C-suite or senior management are people that started with us as interns or juniors, and they've built up over the last 6, 7 years.
Amazing. Does success equal money?
I think for our investors, we definitely think success equals money. So when I say we look after our investors, that means we're giving them the highest returns, right? We can have a nice flashy app. That doesn't matter to me. It matters what is going into my investors' pockets. So when you go on our app and you see the returns, we always show them net of all fees. Because I'm not trying to bamboozle you saying, hey, I bought it for this and I sold it this. I'm trying to show you what you made in your pocket.
Yeah.
Internally, I think it depends where you are in your life, whether success equals money. For me, success doesn't equal money, equals impact. So separate to SmartCrowd, I run a charity, an education charity called Equal Ed. So that's my passion. That's my passion outside of work.
Is it here?
It's in Pakistan, it's in Uganda, it's in Malawi.
Amazing.
So we've been doing a lot of work for the last 3 years. So that's my passion outside of work, but I also really enjoy what I do here, because what we did is we made real estate investment accessible to everybody. You can invest from as little as 500 dirhams. Our largest investors invested about 30 million dirhams with us. Our smallest investor is a taxi driver that invested 500 dirhams with us.
No way.
So we've given that person the ability to make 10, 15, 20%, 30%, 40%
That's so
a year.
smart to do it with taxi
So we've made
drivers.
it accessible. Something that was not accessible, high barriers to entry, we
But they're the majority of the population.
Yeah, we give them opportunities. So for me, when I meet a customer, whether it's a millionaire or it's someone just trying to earn a little bit of money, I'll treat them the same, because I know that relatively it's important to that person. And that's, again, we're the first ones to do that in the Middle East.
Right. Guys, we're all taking out 500 dirhams from our pocket after the shoot.
Yeah, no worries.
We're investing. Since you do deal with a lot of millionaires, I don't know, maybe it's just a personal thing. I've noticed that a lot of them are not happy. Most successful people that I ever interviewed, why do you think that is? Why do you think a lot of the times when money comes into question in Dubai, a lot of the times it's all about money? That line between internal happiness and materialistic happiness keeps getting crossed.
Yeah.
What happens to them?
I've got the exact answer for you, actually, because I studied it.
Really?
It's two things. One is called habituation, where
Mhm.
you just get used to it, right?
And
So
it's never enough.
no, you just got used to it, right? So for example, your first designer bag is very different to your 10th designer bag. It's a diminishing return. So the first time I ever got into a business class flight, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Right.
The 10th time I got into it, it's normal. So it doesn't give you the same level of happiness. So that's just the human factor. The second part
The
is
human
yeah,
ungratefulness.
it's just natural, right?
Yeah.
The second part is rivalry. So it's I've been successful. Now
Okay.
I'm more successful than my peers, but now I have a new peer set. And actually I'm not as rich as that other person that's in my peer set. So now I'm upset because relatively I'm not as wealthy as that other person.
That's such an imposter syndrome here in Dubai because you
100%.
could always find someone that's more successful
Yeah.
than you.
And the thing is,
Always.
I think the thing is in Dubai is some of the people that I know that are billionaires, you will see and you will think they're just a junior person. They're wearing, cheap clothes. They've got a cheap watch. They're just going. They don't even have an expensive car. But I know that guy's a billionaire. I know that guy's worth $100 million plus. To be honest, for me, the cure is getting off, Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Except for LinkedIn, I don't have social
Moving
media.
out of Dubai as well because you go on the street and you see too many Lambos.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the thing is, I think also in Dubai, if you see someone being successful, you're like, okay, good for them. I think Dubai is the best.
Society.
I still think Dubai is the best place to be in, and it's
1
it
billion
gives you
percent.
the opportunity because of the environment to actually go and achieve that. Yeah, and Dubai gave me the opportunity to grow and grow and grow. Within 12 months after that, I was the CFO of GEMS Education, which is one of the largest companies here. That would never happen
Anywhere in Europe.
anywhere in Europe. There'd be, and that is a credit
In
to
the
the
world, I
mindset.
think.
Even the owner of GEMS, he'd been here for 50 years in
Yeah.
UAE, but he understood you give young people a chance and let them rise to the occasion. So he gave me a chance and let me rise to that. I can't think of a person in a different country that would have that mentality because Dubai bred that mentality in him.
Right.
Yeah.
So since we have to enter interview, I actually have this like trivia card quiz.
Okay.
It's not a quiz actually. It's just more of a card trivia question game. You have to pick a card, read the
Okay.
question, and then answer it.
Any card?
Any card.
Okay.
If you really don't like it, don't cry. Like we can
Okay,
change
okay.
it.
How do you handle fear of failure?
Oh, I really want to know what you say to this one.
This is good. You know what's really funny? I just saw this. I'm not on social media, but someone sent me this. Is that someone talking on a podcast and it goes, don't love your job, job your
Drop your
love.
love. Yeah.
And someone commented, don't face your fear, fear your face. So it just
No,
reminded
that's
me of
so
that.
bad. That's so
So
bad.
how do you handle fear of failure?
How did you connect that to
Yeah,
this question?
because it says fear of failure.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Because it's the
So,
fear.
yeah, fear of your
Lol.
face. Let's edit that out.
I'm so keeping this. I'm putting this in the teaser for sure.
Yeah, job your love. How do you handle fear of failure? So it depends where you are, right? Like as the CEO of a startup, you have a huge fear of failure because you have people that solely depend on you and you being able to, for example, like raise money. Raising capital as a startup CEO is key. It doesn't matter what your idea is and how good it is. If you can't raise money to grow, you're gonna fail.
You should join App Olympics. We have a crazy accelerator, by the way.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll tell you about it after.
Yeah, tell me
Anyways,
after, yeah.
continue.
So as a CEO of a startup, you have that fear. But then you just got to really rely on the team and your belief in the product, in your team, in your vision, and push that forward. So when we did the deal a few months ago, when we got investment from Naui, I was just adamant that this was going to happen. I found the right partner and I just was adamant to a degree that I can't even tell you that I'm going to push this transaction through because I want it to happen. And I think you can really, people talk about manifestation, etc. I have a belief in God that will make things happen, but you have to put that effort in. And we put a huge amount of effort into making sure that deal happens. So you're definitely going to have a fear of failure. People go fail and fail fast and etc. But failure is failure at the end of the day. You don't want to fail.
Although it's kind of part of
you learn
the
things.
equation that you have when you enter a startup or when you
Yeah.
do anything. Like it's always there at the back of your mind as like a potential, right?
Yeah. And that's why I really respect a lot of the Gen Zs and millennials like getting into
Fear what?
getting into startups because I didn't have that. I had a fear of failure. So I went into a corporate world, right? Where you have a stable job and you can grow and you learn things.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going from university into a startup where, the startup could not exist in a year potentially. Then what do you do? But they
Also
don't
because
have
your parents are like, no,
yeah,
you
get
have
a
to
good
have
job
a
and
different
stuff like that.
path.
So they don't have that fear. And I really respect that about the younger generation is they're willing to try stuff. And again, that's why our average age is 23, 24 years old at
Awesome.
SmartCrowd.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. No, because I was wondering what you're going to answer to that because honestly, a lot of the men that I asked this question to say, I get overconfident.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the ego starts working, right?
Okay.
Like if you're fearing failure, if you're seeing that something is not going in the right direction, you get overconfident.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, I was just interested in what you're gonna say. But at the end of the day, I feel like the fear leaves if you have the educational aspects and things.
100%.
Because the more you know about something and the more
Yeah.
you're prepared, the
100%.
less of a chance there is
Yeah.
that you're gonna fail. And even if there is that tiny little percentage left
Yeah.
that you are gonna fail, I feel like that's just God's decision then,
Yeah.
and you have to pass through it. What a pleasure speaking to you today, honestly.
speaking to
I
you.
really enjoyed this conversation. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Guys,
it.
stay tuned to the interview. Like, comment, show us your love, please. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, really.
Thanks, Lena.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.